The basis of this video today I'm making is about wealth. And the way this old man I did time with really put that concept of wealth into a new light for me in my head from his angle. Wealth means a lot of things to a lot of different people. Wealth isn't always about money or material things. Although to most, that's what we think of when we think about wealth. Wealth comes in many different forms, wealth might be the abundance of family members or, to another guy, material things. I'm from the street, so I've always valued money and respected money and try to get me some, being a poor kid growing up the way I did. That's what took me on the damn journey to hell, you know what I mean? So wealth has a lot of different perspectives, but the way this old man put it, it blew my mind. So while doing time at FCI Fort Worth, while I was in the feds, I worked in the prison hospital. I was kind of like an orderly there. I was an ICA, which means inmate care attendant. So part of my duties was to, check on the inmates, the hospitalized inmates. You had young men, you had older men, most of them like older, just like ready to die, You had a lot of guys that done a lot of time and were just ready to go, And while I worked there, I met this old man. His name was John Niccolo. He had to be like in his 70s or some late 70s. He was a mastermind. He stole from many companies, many organizations. He was an educated man. He obviously had some schooling. He was some sort of financial wizard. I don't know the depth of his crime, but I know he was stealing through paperwork. And he was tipped up with the mob, like Cosa Nostra. He was like some kind of financial wizard. So as me and Mr. Niccolo got to know each other, he would always come to me like for help or for whatever he needed, Push him to the mail room, whatever he needed, man. One day he asked me to help him shave. And I didn't want to touch no old ass man's face and be stretching his skin and trying to shave him and all that stuff. But I helped him out. And then he kept coming to me with that shit till one day I said, okay, Mr. Niccolo, I'm going to help you shave, man, but you got to give up them Ensure drinks that you get every morning. Is it a deal? And he said, okay, cool. So he would give me his Ensure drinks. And I liked it because it had protein and it tasted good, And I used to be on the yard working out, so a little extra protein wouldn't hurt. One day I pushed Mr. Niccolo on his wheelchair to the mailroom. It's outside of the prison hospital. And, we went for a walk through the yard. It was kind of cool for him because he got to go outside and, look at the sky, whatever, the grass. And we got his mail. It was usually from his attorney when I would take him to the mailroom. He'd get legal mail. And later on that day, he fell asleep while he had his legal mail open and he was reading it. He fell asleep on his wheelchair. He was like slumped over. So, I kind of peeked over the side and I was reading behind his shoulder what his mail was about. And I learned that he had burned Greece, the country of Greece. He stole millions from them, from some town over there. He stole millions from other companies, and he jacked Kodak as well. He stole millions from Kodak, Eastman Kodak, the film company. So, he stole 10 million from them. And I looked at that paperwork and I knew what he did because I had never asked him about what he was in there for. So fast forward a few months later, it's around Christmas time. It's the winter time. I remember it was cold that day and it snows over there in Fort Worth. So it was cold. I remember that. And, I went inside the prison hospital, to execute my duties as an ICA. I'm walking up and down the hallways, checking in with my buddies over there, making sure they're all right. And I look in Mr. Niccolo's room, and he was slumped on his wheelchair, like his head was down, his spirit was down. So I said, hey, Mr. Niccolo, what's wrong, man? You look a little bit down today. And it was Christmas time. It was actually Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. But he tells me, Carlos, this is the first Christmas in 40 years and I'm going to be away from Connie, his wife. And I said, Mr. Niccolo, don't trip. You'll be out in no time, man. You only got like 2-3 more years. Shit, I got like 5 more. I said, plus when you get out, you ain't got to worry about shit. You rich, man. I seen all that money you stole from Kodak. And when I told him that, he got hot. He looked up at me and said, what? I didn't steal nothing from nobody, wise guy. Oh, you think I'm rich, huh? And I said, yeah, I think you're rich, Mr. Niccolo. And he said, all right then, wise guy. He said, sell me your liver for $1 million. I said, nah, I wouldn't do that. He said, all right, wise guy, well, I'll give you $2 million for that fucking liver. You sell it to me? I said, nah, I wouldn't sell it to you, Mr. Niccolo. And he tells me, he says, all right there then, you see? All I got is a bunch of paper I can't do nothing with. I can't even buy a fucking liver off of you. You're the one that's fucking rich. And guess what, wise guy? I'll never see Connie again because the doctor said I got 6 months to live because of this bum liver of mine. So like, it was like, wow, you know, he really put wealth into a new light for me that day, you know? And it's like, man, no matter what, you know, your health is your wealth. Without health, you can't do shit, you know? And I looked around, you know, and I thought about my friends in that hospital. And, you know, I get nightmares to this day, remembering some of their conditions and some of their heartache and their pain, you know? Your health is really number one. You can't do nothing without your health. There ain't no wealth without your health. So Mr. Niccolo really, you know, he really shocked me with that one. You know, he hit me, you know, and he passed away, Mr. Niccolo, rest in peace. That old man, he was cool, man. He was real cranky though, like a lot of them old Italians that had big money out there on the streets are arrogant and cranky, but but he was a good old man, you know. It's funny, man, because like I said, he used to give me those insurers. And one day I was pushing him to the mailroom on his wheelchair. And he looks back at me and he says, you know, Carlos, I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to get away with this insured caper of yours. He says, every fucking morning, the nurse tries to make me drink it right on the spot as soon as she puts it on my desk. And I told him, I said, well, listen, this is what you tell her. He said, don't tell me what the fuck to tell her. Didn't you say I stole 10 million from Kodak? He said, man, what are you going to teach me? He said, you just keep that other ICA the fuck away from me. He's the main one that tries to push it down my throat and make me drink it right away. And who he was referring to was my homie that I got a job for there. He was from LA, you know, he wasn't from the lot, but he associated with them cats. He was from the east side. So I got him a job there. But I think he was trying to impress a nurse, or maybe he was trying to get him something. I don't know. But he was probably just trying to play up to her, you know. And that's a no-no anyways. You don't push the rules of the institution on another inmate, you know what I'm saying? Let the nurse do it if she's going to do it. But I got at my boy. I said, hey, homie. I said, listen, when you go in there with Mr. Niccolo, don't try to make him drink it, man. You know what I'm saying? He gives me all them insurers, you know? Don't step on my toes, brother. And, you know, it was cool. Later on, after we left the mailroom and walking back to the hospital, he tells me, you know what, Carlos? That insured drink of yours would go nice with some cognac. I like to drink cognac at the Louis XVI in Monaco. You ever been there? I said, no, Mr. Niccolo, you got me confused. You know, I'm not cut from that cloth, you know. You know, I was a member of a street gang, but I'm pretty sure if I really set my heart to it, I could have went there, or I would have went there. And he tells me, yeah, I'm sure you could have if you really wanted to. You're pretty smart. So that was a compliment coming from Mr. Niccolo, because he didn't give out many compliments, just demands. But he was a good old man, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Mr. Niccolo. He died in that hospital, you know. And that's all I got for today. It's Friday night, and I'm out.
1, 2, check, 1, 2. Devil on the MIC. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Coming out West Coast. From the West Coast. Jumped in my car and boned out like a rabbit. I don't know, but I just gotta have it. Rolled up the endos, took a puff. Thought about my problems and just said, Went to the liquor store and got a 40. Made me feel my drink problems, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck, it's just another ghetto day. Same as yesterday, ain't nothing changed but the date. And the fresh clothes I sport on my days off. When I work real hard. But when I'm chillin' like a villain. SM17, I'm always making a killing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could just count the days I don't go to work. Chillin' at the crib watching the TV. I don't like to do that shit, I'm kinda lazy. A motherfucking essay on the mic. Talk plenty of shit cause I ride my bike to the liquor store. And I serve a ugly whore. Serving motherfuckers like it ain't no that's my chore. And if I don't do my chores, then I won't get paid, and I won't get laid.